What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Austin Show. Today we're looking at the Hasbro G.I. Joe Classified Series Wave 10 figures. And in this wave from Cobra, we have Zarana and the Crimson Guard. And from the Joes, we have Dusty. So I have three cool looking figures here. Of course, another like troop or army builder with the Crimson Guard. And then two individual figures. So two unique looking figures there. So all of them look pretty cool though. So I'm excited to check them out. So let me get them open out of the box and we'll take a look at them together. So let's start off the way with Zarana, which is the sister of Zartan and also a master of disguise through makeup and method acting, but she's also smart and ambitious, but has a short-tempered, cruel, and greedy personality. And overall, I didn't think I'd like this figure too much just because it's the female, and the females tend to like annoy me a little bit with the G.I. Joe figures, but overall, I think she's kind of won me over. I do have some minor issues and stuff, but overall, I really like her design. I like the pink color, really stands out and pops quite a bit, especially with like her jacket and the pink on her thighs and her hair, which I like that the hair is, where it's probably blonde hair or whatever that she's dyed. So the pink is starting to fade. That or she's added some yellow highlights to it there in the center. So I just like that design with like the mullet design where it's shaved on the sides and longer on the top into the back. And then she's got the leather jacket in the pink design. Of course, it's like a half jacket, so it's only like on half of her body. She got some nice pink armor pads up on her shoulders and I like all the silver studs and stuff going around. And then of course the strap going to the other side. She's got some sleeves going up her arms with some elbow pads there. So some black sleeve that have like a snake skin texture to it. Bare midriff, so you can see her stomach there going into the blue jeans, so bell around the waist. Ooh, and she even has a chain there connecting it up, so that's pretty cool. Thigh holster, like I said, you can see some pink under there, so maybe like she's got some tights or leggings and stuff on under her jeans that are pink, and going down to the boots where she has some knee pads feeding into the black leather boots that look like cowboy boots and have some spurs on the back of it, which look pretty cool. So overall, she has just a nice, unique design, but like I said, there are some minor issues. First of all is how far apart her arms are. Like I can't really get them to bend in any further than that, so kind of stinks that they're like sticking that far out, so that really annoys me there. But let's go and do the movements and we'll see the other stuff. So first we get their head, so her head can twist all the way around and she can look down that far and up that far, and as you can see she's got the neck joint up there, of course feeding into her head, as well as the lower neck joint, so it should add some more movements back and forth in there, and then it should twist around the lower neck there as well. The shoulders come up, and that's one of my first issues, is that the shoulders can only come up that high because the armor is like molded onto her body, so you can't really get it to lift up like on Star Wars figures, the troopers and stuff that have the armor padding. Usually it's soft or loose at the top, so you can like pull it up to get it lift up. Can't do that. Or sometimes you can push down on it to get it to feed into the joint, and you can't do that either with this, so it only goes up that far, which really stinks. But it does twist all the way around, and we do have the butterfly joint on her, so it moves back and forth. We have a bicep up in there, so I like how it's kind of hidden around in there and has the strap for her armor, so I like that design. The double elbow joint, so we can get that to bend up that far, so almost all the way up, but pretty good there. The wrist can twist all the way around and flexes up and down for this hand. Then we have the ab crunches, so she's got an ab crunch right under her chest, so crunch back and forth, mostly back with this one, but can twist all the way around there. And then she's got the crunch at her waist as well, so crunch back and forth and twist all the way around there as well. And of course she's got some crunch side to side on both of those. The hips can come up to 90, and then out to the side she can do the splits, and this leads to my other issue with this. Of course, has the drop down hips as usual for the G.I. Joe, so pop them back up in there. But with her pants design, you can see part of the joint there, so that kind of sticks out, which we don't usually see that on any other figures because it's covered up by the longer pants. But because she's got the small like skin tight pants, you can see that hole in there, which is quite annoying. So that's the other issue I have with this figure, is that you can just see those holes on each side of her legs. But the thigh twist can twist all the way around, a little bit stiff, but can twist around there. The double knee joint that can bend up that far to the back. She can spur herself in the butt. A shin twist down at the top of the boot, and then the foot can flex back and forth and twist side to side. So besides the shoulder joint, she's got really good movements, pretty much the best movements you could ask for on a figure like this. So in that aspect, she's really good, and like I said, I like the design of the colors and stuff. Didn't think I would at first, didn't think the peak and everything looked that good, but having it in figure form and stuff, she looks really nice. Now I don't know if I would like it much for a G.I. Joe figure. For a figure itself, I think it looks really nice. You'd probably like stick this in. I feel it'd fit good with like Fortnite and stuff with just her overall design. But for G.I. Joes, I don't know how much I'd like it. I'd have to put it on a shelf to see. But overall, just for figure itself, I think she looks really cool. But then we get her accessories. So first, as I mentioned, she is a master of disguise, much like her brother. So part of her disguise, and much like Lady J, was that she can switch her hair out. So we do get a hair piece we can switch out. So we have this awesome like pink hair design that's got like the hair up top with this design where it's all like curled in and stuff. I think this is supposed to be her design, like classic from like the 80s cartoon and stuff. So I think that looks pretty cool. So we can switch her hair out. So it's easily just the softer rubber, plastic, whatever, that easily slides on, so you can easily slide it right off. And you can slide this hair on. You just have to worry about like her little sideburn hairs. They kind of get caught up on the ears and like stuck down in, so you gotta make sure you get those out. But then it just slides right on, and it sits really nice on there. Like, you don't really notice the seams. Like, obviously you can see around there, but it doesn't like stand out a lot to know that it's like, oh, she's definitely got like a fake hair on or something. So it fits really nice and like smooth in there, especially with the hair in front of the ears and stuff, and fits pretty nicely around the ears and everything. So fits pretty nice there. And so there she has that hair design that you can switch it out to. I think it makes her look more badass, like more Mad Maxy or whatever. So like, I like that design, but I also don't like it as much, and I prefer this hair much more. But either way, you can't go wrong. I think she looks cool either way, but let's go and switch it back. So I really just like the hair design, how easy it is to switch on and off, and that the hair just sits so nicely on the figure, and you, like I said, you don't really notice that it's a hair piece. And like all the other Joes, she comes with a lot of weapons. So first we get a backpack for us. We have a backpack, of course, with the peg, and then all sorts of designs and stuff. It's a small backpack compared to what we've had before, in a different design, so that's pretty cool, but it just looks pretty different and unique for her, just all in brown that we can stick into her back. So it just sticks in there like that. And for weapons, first we get just a little knife or dagger, whatever you want to call it. Looks pretty cool, a nice small thin blade, but this can go into the thigh holster, so it just sticks right on her like that. Then she comes with a heat blade, which looks really cool. So it looks like it's got the handle of a gun almost, just with that design. But then it's got the nice big blade that's all red, so it's heated, so it can easily cut through things. And with this, we can obviously put it into her hand, but we can also store it back here in our backpack, so it just slides down in there and sort of like clicks in and stuff. So it just works out really nice. I feel the like storage area isn't as good. Like, you know, I didn't know exactly what went there when first opening this, but after seeing it and it fits nice in and snug in there and stuff, it kind of makes more sense, so that it just sticks in her back. And finally, she comes with a rifle with a saw blade on the end of it, so that's pretty crazy. Since she is a part of her brother's group and they always use all sorts of weird weapons and everything, she does have this saw blade on the front of it, so it looks pretty cool. And we do have a magazine that can come out and stuff there, so let's put this in her hand. So there's Zarana with that gun, and I think it looks really cool, finishing out her look with this awesome gun with the saw blade on it. Just makes her look even more badass. So having here like this, where we can see her gun, her knife there in the back and stuff, she just looks really cool. So like I said, this is an awesome figure, just looking design wise. Hopefully, like I said, once we put it on the shelf, it looks good with the rest of the Joes. I feel it'll stand out a lot with that pink, but hopefully it won't stand out enough to look like it doesn't match. Either way, she's a really awesome figure. So if you don't collect Joes but want this figure for some other collection you have, I think she'd fit into just about anything. Like, she just has that weird, unique look to her. But overall, the design of her and the function and in her hair pieces, all that stuff, it just looks so good. Oh, and I almost forgot, of course, we have our brother of Zartan here, so we can bring in Zartan with Zarana there. So we have two of the three siblings so far here together, and both look really cool. They are part of the Dreadnoks. And next up, we've got Dusty. His real name is Ronald Tatter, and he's a sergeant in the U.S. Army that is specialized in desert survival. And he became obsessed with the desert at a young age and started studying desert ecology while working as a refrigerator and air conditioner repairman, until he quit to join the Army to specialize in that desert survival, and also became fluent in Arabic and Hebrew. And overall, he looks cool here. So he's got a different, unique design. So he's got all the brown camo, so you can see that spread all through the body. So he's got that brown camo design, so it stands out with the all tan color, you know, completely over him, but then has the darker brown like splotches and stuff for that camo design running all through him, which I really like. You know, it makes him stand out quite a bit compared to all the darker colors and stuff we see with a lot of the Joes. So overall, I really like that. And I know he's supposed to have like reuse, especially head-wise, of Duke. At least that's what I've seen people say, but I just feel like his neck is really long with his head, and so it makes him look like a really tall, like skinny guy, which I think fits quite a bit. Like, I feel, you know, he'd be good for that and stuff, but that's just like how long his neck is and stuff, just gives him the look that he's a tall, skinny guy, even though, like, you know, body-wise, he's going to be the same as pretty much all the other Joes. But I just think that look adds to it and stuff. So he has the face there, like I said, that's supposed to be a reuse of Duke, so different hair color with a darker brown hair, and then they even have some brown paint to match his outfit on there. So that is pretty cool with that face. Again, the longer neck. Looks like maybe a dark green shirt there, so like a t-shirt underneath with, like I said, the all tan camo over the top. Has this chest harness piece, so just with straps going around there to the back, and the little green tubing there that feeds there and goes around like it's going to go into his backpack. And I assume by the design on it there that it's like a camelback, so, you know, if you fill your backpack with water, have a little pouch thing filled with water, and this tube runs in so you can easily get it to drink water and stuff. So that's pretty cool. Has the American flag there with Totter, of course, his last name, and then of course he's a part of the G.I. Joes there. Belt around the waist with all sorts of like straps and stuff, but a little pocket there to the side, and then the pants going all the way down to the boots, where he has a holster there on his chin. So looks pretty good just overall. I like the design of him. Like I said, with that neck design, it looks awkward awkward, but like I said, also makes him look like he's tall and skinny. So let's do the movement. So his head can twist all the way around. He can look down that far and up that far. So not the best movements ever, but he does have the double neck joint, so you can get a little further farther down and up as well. So not much, but it does have it in there. The shoulders can come up to 90 with the butterfly joint and rotate all the way around. We get a bicep twist that's a little bit stiff. We can twist all the way around. The double elbow joint that can bend pretty much all the way up on itself. If you get it worked out there, yeah, it can bend all the way up, so that's good. Wrist can twist around, and the up and down flex for this hand once again. He's got the ab crunch, so the cutouts in there, so crunch forward, crunch back, nice popping detents and stuff there, but crunch back and forth, and also has the crunching at the waist, so crunch back and forth, and can twist around there. The hips can come up to 90 and out to the side. Of course, they have the drop down hit, so it goes out to the splits. Has a thigh twist that twists all the way around. The double knee joint that can bend up that far to the back, not far from kicking his butt. Now, we do have an issue with our figure, so you can see the knee joint design, how it is, of course, the different shade, which is happening with the Joes, but you can see that design. Well, our other knee joint has a little bit extra material, so it has this extra material down here, which at least thankfully it is cut out, so it can still separate there, but it just has that extra material. Well, we also have it at the top as well, and so that kind of created issues for getting this leg joint. So we came up with the idea to, cut out the sides here to allow it to move back. So it did work, so it allows it to move back and at least get a bend. But I think just because of that and just the cutouts and how sloppy it sort of looks, we decided just to go ahead and buy a new Dusty figure. So we'll be having a new one come in since the knee's all messed up. But then we get the shin twist at the top of the boot, and then the foot can flex back and forth and twist side to side. But overall, he works and functions pretty good. Like, besides our issue with that knee joint, stands up real easily, no issue with that. Like I said, G.I. Joe's messed with their stuff, so now I can get the figures to easily stand up and everything, which I like a lot. So overall, pretty good figure, like design-wise and stuff. I like the looks and everything. Like I said, just had that issue with the knee, but overall, I think he looks cool. But accessory-wise, first for Dusty, we get a hat. So we have like a desert hat design. So we have the hat, that'll cover his head and cover back his neck and stuff. So that's pretty cool, and it has a little band around the top of it, so to keep it tight on his head, and the little chin strap and everything there. So that's pretty cool. So we can just take and slide this onto his head, which unfortunately with the design, as you see, it doesn't really sit on too well. It's just sort of barely sits on. You can sort of kind of shove it down on and it'll look a little bit better, but it just sort of sits on there and doesn't really stay too well and easily falls off. So they've done a really good job with most of the Joe figures where you put the hat on, doesn't look like it's going to stay, but it doesn't fall off until you put more pressure on it. You can get him to just stand there with it. It doesn't look too bad, but overall I wish it functioned a little bit better. But what may help is that he also does come with some goggles. We have some goggles that we can put on his head. So there, he's got the goggles on his face. So maybe if we put the hat on then with the filling out of the head, it'll help a little bit more there. So it does keep the hat on a little bit better. It's still not the best, but it does keep it on a little bit more with the goggles on his head. But thankfully, thanks to the toy community out there, people have been sharing that actually though, if you also want to store it, you can just take these goggles and flip them around and keep them on the back of his head, and it'll help keep the hat on. So you just switch the goggles around, sort of like put this up towards the top so you don't really see it as much, and put the goggles down there, and then slide the hat on, and you can sort of cover up the band there, and there now it really keeps his hat on. So now it's on and doesn't really fall off unless you put pressure onto it. So that's a nice thing to do there, and it's a nice place to store those extra goggles, and it'll help keep the hat on his head as well. So that works out quite well. So I'm glad whoever figured that out has shared it with people and it's got around, because now we can have a better looking Dusty. But we also get another set of goggles to go on top of his head, so we can just take these and slide them down on top here. So of course it's much like the goggles for the Cobra Vipers and stuff, so you just kind of get them to stick on the head as much as you can and they'll sit up there, and I think that adds more to that hat design and stuff, just adding those goggles up on top there, and hopefully they stay pretty well. But there's Dusty with the hat, and I think it makes him look pretty good. He also comes with a backpack, so we have a backpack here just all brown, looks like he's got some canteens and stuff, some extra canteens, all sorts of pockets and everything, just all in brown there with the peg that can go into the back. And as I've mentioned in past Joe figures, if you have some issues getting the backpacks in, just sort of twist them back and forth as you're pushing them in, and it'll help kind of get them in and stay in and stuff. So there he's got the backpack on. And weapon wise, he comes with a knife, so a little tiny knife that can go onto the sheath there down on his leg, so it's just stored away there. And finally, he comes with his FAMAS gun with a bipod, which is pretty cool. And not really had any guns with bipods. It's kind of weird. It's attached up top here. Most guns that have them attach at the bottom, but I like the design. It has a lot of attachments with the scope and the foregrip and stuff, and then it even has the magazine back towards the back, which should be able to pop out. Yeah, it slides out the back there, so that's pretty cool, and has the bipod and stuff. You can fold that, you know, have it mounted and everything. But let's put this in his hand. So there's Dusty with the gun now ready to go out for desert survival. And I think overall he looks pretty cool. And again, I like the Joes because a lot of them can just store all their accessories. So with the hack of putting the goggles on the back of his head, it stores that because that'd be the only thing you'd have to worry about. And he stores everything else he comes with. So we have all of his stuff right here on one figure. And I think he looks pretty awesome. So a nice addition to the Joe team. And finally, we have a Crimson Guard, which is the most elite troopers of the Cobra Army, with a fearsome oath of loyalty to Cobra Commander. And they also specialize in civilian professions and are sent out to the world as doctors, lawyers, executives, and politicians, and are led by the Crimson Twins of Tomax and Xamot. And overall, it looks cool. It's just another basic army builder type guy, so he's not the best and like most detailed and everything, but he looks pretty cool with the all red details. Has the helmet that fits with like Cobra and stuff, so the nice all red helmet, but with the flare designs of like the Cobra and stuff, with the all black mask and silver eyes and mouth breather. So looks pretty awesome with the silver details up on the head, but just the helmets look a little bit dorky altogether. And then the all red outfits that look like Regal outfits, you know, much higher rankings and stuff, and has the double breasted flap on top with the silver details, so the silver buttons and the silver outline in it, with rankings and insignias and stuff there on his chest, you know, to make him higher rank. Of course, the silver Cobra logo. I like the silver designs there around on the forearms and the V there on the belt, and the red just continues down the legs to the all black boots with some silver buckles and stuff there on the boots. And then it has a thigh holster and a holster attached to his belt there, and then even like the little rope designs and stuff there around his arms, so showing like rankings and stuff there as well. So overall has the nice design and stuff too. Like I said, I don't really care too much. I get tired of all the like Cobra Trooper figures just because they all look so basic and stuff, and you just buy multiple of them and, you know, have a whole army of them. But I think he looks cool, and like I said, looks more regal and stuff, so it does more fitting of that higher rank. But let's do the movements. So his head can twist all the way around. You can look down that far and up that far. So it has the worst movements of the day so far, but mostly because the helmet's hitting the collar. The shoulders can come up to 90 with the butterfly joint. Actually, it comes up just under 90 unless I can force it up there a little bit more. Yeah, there's to 90 with the butterfly joint, and rotate all the way around. We get the bicep twist, the double elbow joint. That's a little bit stiff on this, but can at least bend up that far, so just over 90, with the wrist that rotates around and can flex up and down for this hand. He's got the ab crunch in the middle, so crunch forward, crunch back, so nice crunching there, and twist around at the waist with the additional crunch back and forth. Hips can come up to 90 and out to the side. He should be able to do the splits again. With those drop down hits, you got to pop back in. Thigh twist all the way around. A double knee joint that's a little bit stiff, but can bend up at least that far to the back, not far from his butt. Got a shin twist there at the top of the boot, and then the foot can flex back and forth a little bit and twist side to side. So not bad figure wise, fits in pretty well with the rest of the Joes and has pretty much the same movements as all the others, but overall he's not bad at all. But he comes with a number of accessories. So first we'll start with his backpack. So we get this all black backpack with the nice design to it. I like how, you know, just has this different shape, again different from all the other backpacks, but it has the silver Cobra logo on the back there and like the V-shaped sort of flap over the top. Has a holder here for the gun and then a hole here to you can peg some other stuff in. So let's go and just stick this in his back. So it just sticks right in there, pretty simple and easy for that one. And then we get all his weapons. So first he comes with a knife. So he's got this bigger knife that's got this big blade, but I like how it's got the little like snake head on the end of it there for the handle, so that looks pretty cool. And with this we stick it into the sheath here on the side of his belt, so it just slides right in there. He comes with a pistol, so just a little black pistol. Looks pretty realistic and everything for them, so that's pretty cool. And this can go onto the thigh holster on his other leg, just slides right in there. Then with him looking all regal and stuff, he does come with a sword, so it looks like a cutlass or something, just this awesome like cavalry sword or whatever. So the long sword with the handle and guard on it there, still has that snake head design at the end of it. Looks pretty cool, and comes with a sheath for it as well, so you can slide the blade in there for storage. And with this it has the peg, so you can either take it and stick it onto his belt here, so he's got the peg there, so you can have it where you'd like normally have a sword store and stuff, so it's there at your side always for the ready. Or if you want to have it out of the way, you can stick it into the backpack with that hole there, so it can be stored on his backpack, so wherever you want it stored. And finally he comes with a gun, so has this awesome rifle. Looks pretty cool. This nice rifle has the magazine that can obviously come out and be stored there, and then has a bayonet with this knife attached to the end of it, so it looks pretty cool overall. So let's put this in his hand. So one thing cool with this figure is that both hands do have the up and down joints, so he can hold the guns with either hands of this, so you can make him left-handed here if you want, or you can have him hold a gun in one hand and the sword in the other, which I thought would be pretty cool. But there we have the Crimson Guard all kitted out. But with him being an army builder, we do have two of them, so we have two of our Crimson Guard members here. But as I mentioned, they are led by the Crimson Twins, so we can bring the Crimson Twins in here of Tomax and Xamot, so we can have them flanked by their Crimson Guards there. So that looks pretty cool having both of those there. And of course you can just army build more of them, would be pretty cool. But there we have our Crimson Guard now led by the Crimson Twins, which is really cool. Well, there's our Wave 10 of the G.I. Joe Classified Series figures, and pretty good wave, I'd have to say overall. I really like Dusty, adding him to the Joes is cool, and just overall like his design. Zarana, like I said, is a really cool figure. She just turned out really nice, and probably one of the best female figures. I just like dealing with her a lot, messing with her. She works out really good, and having another army builder of the Crimson Guard there to go with our Cobra ranks is really cool as well. So pretty good wave overall, I have to say. But let me know what you thought of the figures down in the comments, and if you enjoyed my review, let me know with a thumbs up. But I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you all stay awesome out there, and I'll see you in our next review.